Hi, my name's Chris, as you probably could have guessed from my name. Um, the first bit is pronounced Kokoro, by the way, and it's actually the name of my karate club. So that's already something you found out about me within the first 20 seconds of the video. So we're off to a good start. Um, yeah, this is my first attempt at a YouTube video. Um, I've kind of been lurking around on the site for ages now. Yeah, I mean back way before it was popular, but haven't made any video of my own. Largely because, as you've already noticed, I completely suck in front of camera. Um, so I've kind of been the creepy stalker in all of your videos, seeing what you've been doing and following you. Which is one of really the reasons why I wanted to start making videos of my own. Just because there's some people on here that I now feel I sort of know quite well through their videos, whereas they clearly don't know me at all because I've never put any of myself out there. I mean, I leave comments when I can, etc. But users like Richard Coughlin or Aaron Ra or um, Thunderfoot or people like that, the bigger users of the sort of circles that I tend to frequent, I'm well aware I become one commenter in thousands, and so I know it becomes very hard for them to respond, and I have great admiration for them when they manage to at all. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to do with this channel. I might just sort of ramble a bit about myself, or I might try and write some bits and bobs to talk about. I don't really know at this stage. I struggle a bit to think of what exactly YouTube is lacking that I can add to it, apart from my beautiful face. Um, so yeah. Uh, One thing I think I will do is I'll probably stay out of um, the sort of theological debates that go on quite a bit here. Not out of disinterest at all. I mean, it's one of the things that I follow most avidly. As you probably guessed from the list of users I've mentioned, I'm a big fan of sort of logic and reasoning and arguments. So yeah, my reasoning there is more, there are other users that have that totally covered and can do a much better job of it than me. But then, I mean, I guess if people particularly want me to make comments on that sort of area, I can. It is something I have fairly strong views on. But yeah, I mean, there is nothing I can add in a scientific vein, for example, that Aaron Ra doesn't have covered a million times over, as an example. So yeah. So yeah, what I wanted to talk about really with this first video was something that a user called AbbyNormal1 sort of touched upon actually a couple of months ago now. Yeah, back in mid-March, a thing on misconceptions. I think that actually is quite a nice topic for a first video, because I think really first impressions are the biggest time. Well, they obviously are the biggest time to make misconceptions about people, because the longer you know someone for, the more likely they're to become conceptions rather than misconceptions. So yeah, if this is your first rather dull introduction to me, then I guess this is when you'll have your most misconceptions about me. One of the things that she said, comments she made, which I quite liked, was a recognition of the fact that actually some of the misconceptions about us we actually create for ourselves. Whether this ends up being a positive thing or a negative thing, I'm not sure. I know everyone creates outer visions of themselves that aren't exactly true. No one makes choices about sort of particularly related to their appearance, which is really what I wanted to talk about today, if I don't run out of time. No one makes choices about their appearance in a complete social vacuum. Everyone is aware, or at least I think most people are aware, of people's perceptions of different things. As an example, when I chose to grow my hair, which is now fairly long and wet because I had a shower like 5 minutes before making this. When I chose that, I wasn't totally ignorant of people's perceptions and associations with that look. And so for better or for worse, I guess I chose to do that, not just because I thought it looked good, although, clearly it doesn't look that great, but also because it is part of an image that I chose to foster, whatever that image may be, which I guess is my first question to anyone that watches this. What sort of images have I presented of myself thus far? I mean, I'm a guy with long hair and a big, well, not that big, but reasonably big beard. That's the first thing. What does that say about me? I'm here. It's obviously the writing's all backwards. Burzum. So I'm wearing a Burzum shirt. For anyone that doesn't know, they are it's really one guy actually. It's a Norwegian black metal band, and is actually quite infamous even among the black metal movement. So, and again, I chose to wear this knowing that if people knew anything about it, they'd have an opinion on that. The shirt doesn't exist devoid of context. So there clearly is some sort of image that I'm at least subconsciously trying to foster, but at the same time, I also know I resent it when people pigeonhole me, even if I've solicited that pigeonholing myself. So yeah, just kind of, I don't know, I'd be interested to know what, I don't know, maybe what boxes you've already put me in, what you already think of me, or what your experiences are with people's misinterpretations of you, or false images of you, or and like what boxes you've tried to put yourself in, because as I say, we all do, even sort of those of us that really embrace free thought and individualism and pushing against this lemming mentality that I think too many people have. We still try and put out some sort of image of ourselves, which is never going to be completely true. So yeah, and following on from that, like how has that affected you? Have you actually been totally happy with the image that you've managed to create, or have you grown to resent then the fact that you are pigeonholed? So yeah, I guess that's probably enough for now. So yeah, it's been weird talking to a camera as if people are out there when this is my first video and I have, I think, 1 subscriber. I'm not really sure why, because I've been here, I think, 4 years on YouTube and have never made a video. So random. Anyway, I'll do something else on here at some point. Thank you for watching if you have to this point. So yeah, bye.